a beautiful morning. Good morning, everyone. And with indeed a great pleasure, I welcome you all to Carnival Breakfast Show, coming to you from Carnival Radio. And this is Newspaper Review. I am Joseph Woyukola this morning. I came with different newspapers, and each with different interesting stories. I have Punch with me. I have Vanguard newspaper. I have Daily Post. I have Nation. I have so many newspapers with me this morning. And trust me, when I say each with interesting stories, I know they are stories that you would love to hear. So this morning, before we'll begin the news details, here are the headlines. Starting from the Punch newspaper, Habia man freed after 22 years jail for robbery, says Ogun AG. 40 meters, billion heralds drive electricity complaint to 254,000. Local government poll, police restrict movement, deploy squads. ADC, Atiku Obi Amici presidential ambitions divide supporters. From the Punch newspaper, EFCC boss Lukoide begs NAS for promulgation of law against unexplained wealth. Now to the news details. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Oyo State, Oluwashina Ogungbade, has disclosed that an indigene of Abia State, Ugbona Ugbojino, who was recently freed after spending 22 years in prison, was jailed for robbery, not for buying a stolen generator as speculated on social media. Ogungbade, in a statement he signed on Wednesday, alleged that Ugbona, alongside his compliances, also killed a guard during the robbery that occurred on October 3, 2000. Ugbona became an internet sensation after the story of how he regained freedom following the intervention of the Abia State Governor Alex Hoti after 22 years of incarceration. According to multiple social media reports, Ugbona was sentenced to death for allegedly buying a stolen generator, a claim that has since drawn condemnation of the Nigerian justice system. The report had claimed that Ugbona disclosed that at the time of his arrest in 1999, he was forced to write a statement that he did not understand, prosecuted, and then sentenced to death. Reacting to the claims, Ogungbade described the claim as false, narrating that Ugbona was lawfully and rightly convicted for the crime he committed, while narrating a series of events that led to death sentence conviction. AG disclosed that on October 3, 2000, at about 10 p.m., a gang of armed robbers attacked the ELF petrol station along Abeokuta Lagos Road and stole a 10 kV Lister generator. The armed robbers overpowered and detailed the two guards at the fuel station. He continued that some days later, at about 2:30 a.m., a police team intercepted a vehicle at the toll gate area loaded with firewood and pure water bags. Upon a search of the vehicle, the police discovered it was used to conceal the same generator that was stolen earlier. When the driver Ogbona and one Kolaole Oladeji were confronted, they could not provide evidence of ownership of the generator. The AG noted that the driver and Oladeji zoomed off while the police were trying to impound the vehicle, leaving Ogbona behind. This news was sourced from the Punch newspaper. Please, for more details on this story, read further of the Punch newspaper. Habia man freed after 22 years jailed for robbery. says Ogun Eji. Why? Electricity distribution complaints received over 254,404 customer complaints in the first quarter of 2025, largely driven by grievances over faulty metering, erratic service, and inaccurate billing. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission complained and said in its newly released quarterly report, NEC revealed that a total of 254,404 complaints were lodged by consumers between January and March 2025, marking a 7.72% drop from the 275,681 complaints received in the previous quarter. The top three issues reported by customers were metering 42.84%, billing 12.27%, and service interruption 7.66%, cumulatively accounting for over 62% of all complaints recorded. Despite the slight decline in total numbers, NEC noted that Port Harcourt District received the highest number of complaints with 57,843 cases, representing 22.74% of the national total. Yola District received the least at 2,495 complaints, or 0.8%. Other top complaint destinations include Eko, 36,708, Ibadan, 42,392, and Ikeja, 25,555. Abuja, who had logged 23,966. This news was sourced from the Vanguard newspaper. 40 meters, billing errors drive electricity complaints to 254,000. At the meantime, ahead of the local government elections scheduled for Saturday, July 12, 2025, the Oyo State Police Command has announced a total restriction of vehicular movement across the state from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Election Day. The directive, issued in a public statement on Wednesday, aims to ensure a secure, peaceful, and orderly electoral process across all 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas of Lagos State. The command said the decision was made in agreement with other security and safety agencies under the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, cited the need to safeguard the election, the electorate, the LASIK official and HDHOC staff, and electoral processes. In line with the Electoral Act, the police also announced several security measures, including a ban on armed escorts and security aids at polling units and coalition centers, as well as prohibition on the indiscriminate use of sirens and covered number plates. This news was sourced from the Le Post newspaper. Local government poll, police restraint movement deploys squad for the march. In another development, the growing 2027 presidential ambition of key political figures is newly unveiled the African Democratic Congress (ADC), causing deepening divisions among supporters and stakeholders within the political coalition. This is even as political maneuvers and behind-the-scenes consultations have ignited heated debates, especially on social media, among coalition supporters and intensified power struggles within the alliance. Some watchers have also flagged the potential clash of ambitions among the contenders as a likely obstacle to the success of the coalition. The news may report that with less than 2 years to the next general election, the ADC-led coalition faces an uphill battle, not just against the All Progressives Congress (APC) or the People's Democratic Party (PDP), but against internal disunity. As it stands now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party and former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi are the leading aspirants to challenge President Bola Tinubu for the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) in 2027. Though Atiku has not officially declared his intention to run, the duo of Obi and Amechi have announced their interest to wrestle power from Tinubu. This news was sourced from the Nation newspaper. ADC, Atiku Obi Amechi's presidential ambitions divide supporters. After the last news, our newspaper revealed this morning, the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, has appealed to the National Assembly to enact a law against unexplained wealth. It says such a law would engender the fight against economic and financial crimes and other acts of corruption. In a statement by the EFCC spokesperson, Delio Yuwale, on Wednesday, the chairman made the plea at the National Conference on Public Accounts and Fiscal Governance convened by the Public Accounts Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives. The statement noted that the chairman condemned not existing legislation against unexplained wealth, saying that corruption is embodied when people living above their means are not questioned. Lukwede also called on the government at all levels to uphold transparency in resource management, even as it stated that mismanagement of resources is beyond banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and other acts of insecurity in the country. It further noted that custodians of stolen assets are as guilty as those that stole the assets. This news was sourced from the Le Post newspaper. EFCC boss Lukoide begs NAS for promulgation of law against unexplained wealth. To bring the newspaper review to a close this morning, here is a recap of headlines. Abia man freed after 22 years jail for robbery. 40 meters billing errors drive electricity complaints to 254,000. Local government poll at Atiku, police street movement deploys squad. ADC, Obi Amechi, Atiku presidential ambitions divide supporters. EFCC boss Olukoyede begs NAS for promulgation of law against unexplained wealth. And with that, we've come to the end of Newspaper Review. Thank you very much for listening. You can download Carnival Media app from Google Play Store and App iOS. You can also check out our website at www.carnivalmedia.ng. My name remains Joseph Oyokola. Good morning, and please do well to enjoy the rest of your day.
Where hit music lives.
Enjoyment unlimited.
One